I was mesmerized, churned up by popular songs and Hollywood images that filled me with longing. Suddenly, it was possible for the newest generation of country people in our region to go to college, travel to Europe, and even choose a life off the farm. I had a notion to work as a secretary for a record company. My parents encouraged even my most ill-informed ambitions, for like most Depression-era parents, they wanted their children to have easier lives than they had had, and they wanted us to rise above the shame so many country people felt. The movies and the radio insisted that country people were inferior and backward. "Put your shoes on, Lucy, don't you know you're in the city?" There was a fatalism in my parents' hopes for their children, a fear that we would move on up to some highfalutin place where, cocktails in hand and spouting our book learning, we would look down on them. I didn't want to spend my life canning beans and plucking chickens, so trundling my innocence before me like a shopping cart, I headed for New York. Where else? And got a job on a movie magazine. But I wasn't a glamour puss. I hated cocktail parties, and writing celebrity gossip soon palled. I wanted to be a real writer, which I thought meant I had to become a Greenwich Village bohemian. I didn't know that the post-war portrait of the village artist was already turning into a caricature. Bob Dylan, Nick Carraway's country cousin, had arrived in the village some time before, not as a starry-eyed tourist like me, but as a revolutionary messenger from the boondocks. But it was a long time before I understood how Dylan affirmed the very resources I had left behind. Confused, unsure of my direction or purpose, I left the city for an upstate New York graduate school. Then the 60s exploded. In one ear, I heard the Beatles singing the magic of transcendence, and in the other, I heard about my grandmother's nervous breakdown, apparently caused by her worry over me, the innocent who had gone off up north to the evil big city. I teeter-tottered between two worlds. As I struggled to become sophisticated, my folks and their country culture were always present in the deepest part of my being. Yet I was estranged from them, just as I was a stranger there in the North. I was an exile in both places. This book is the story of a family trying to come to terms with profound change. It truly centers on my mother. If she'd had the chance, she might have busted out to the big city years before I dreamed of doing so. Many of the impulses I felt burned in her breast, too. But she remained caught in a household dominated by my cautious, worried, tight-stitched grandmother. To understand what happened to my mother, and subsequently to me, I recently began to sort through the scraps of the past, looking for the patterns of our quilted-together lives. Bobbie Ann Mason, Kentucky, 1998. 1. The Family Farm, 1994. 1. It is late spring, and I am pulling pondweed. My mother likes to fish for brim and catfish, and the pondweed is her enemy. Her fishing line gets caught in it, and she says the fish feed on it, ignoring her bait. "That old pondweed will take the place," Mama says. All my life I've heard her issue this dire warning. She says it of willow trees, spiderwort, snakes, and Bermuda grass. That old Bermudy won't leave her flower beds alone. The pondweed is lovely. If it were up to me, I'd just admire it and let the fish have it. But then I'm spoiled and lazy and have betrayed my heritage as a farmer's daughter by leaving the land and going off to see the world. Mama said I always had my nose in a book. I didn't want to have to labor the way my parents